Okay, so where do I come from?
Del día que tú naciste.
Okay, you're comfortable the way I live?
Yeah. ¿Y dónde tú?
Estás nerviosa tú. Dios mío.
Yo hablo en español, entonces después cuando yo me relaje que yo pueda meter mi Spanglish, yo lo meto. Pero,
I don't know where I come from.
De New Jersey.
ya. Acuérdate
Hombre,
que tú
Yo tengo seis.
vienes de una familia humilde y tu mamá siempre quería que tú fueras a la universidad y que tú, espérate que le estoy dando un recordatorio, que tú, espérate,
Wanda está bajita, pero se ve completa.
que tú viste el esfuerzo y todas las cosas que pasaron
Oye,
en tus
deja que
padres,
Cheily hable.
y tú querías.
Cheily está bacana ahora mismo.
Madre, ¿de dónde tú vienes?
Ok, Cheily está bacanísima. Ya Cheily se le fue todo.
Yo tengo 5 años
Ay,
conociendo a
Dios mío.
Madelyn y le estoy diciendo dónde ella viene.
Listen,
Oye,
I'm gonna use this as bloopers.
Okay, so Cheily goes first.
y que tu papá.
And I'll just follow her guidelines.
Y que tu papá, y que tú lo querías hacer sentir orgulloso.
Dice, Madeline, you were born.
Esto es una loquera. Ya tú sabes.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Me llamo Cheily Batista.
Madelyn Morel, en español. Si lo digo en inglés, Madelyn Morel.
Oh, yeah. Se te enreda la lengua.
Ay, no, esta mierda. coño. $500 por nada.
All right, let's go. Let's hit this.
Vamos a empezar. Welcome to the Dash Group Chat Podcast. I am your host. They call me G. And today we have two special guests, two friends of mine in the podcast, Madelyn Morel Cheily Batista. They have a healthy hub in New Jersey. How are you, ladies?
Hello.
Hi.
Good.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I can relax. You know, I always tell my guests, you know, at first you get nervous, pero después, it's all good. How you been? How you guys been?
Good.
Good. Okay. I'm good too.
Es que yo voy a hablar en español.
Habla español, olvídate.
No, yo voy a hablar Spanglish.
Yes.
I'm going to practice my English.
You speak English
Yes,
well.
I speak English well, but, you know, I feel more comfortable in Spanish too.
Okay,
So
okay.
I have been good. Se dice así, I have been good.
Yes, of course. I have been good too.
I have been good.
Madelyn, what's up? How you been?
What's poppin'?
What's good?
Let me tell you something.
Go
This
ahead.
place is beautiful.
Oh,
You guys
thank you.
have been doing a great job. Everything here is beautiful. The fact that they received me with so much love, with everything that we like. Oh my God. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well, thank the
Thank
beautiful
you.
woman over
And
there, my
Wanda.
wife, of course.
Wanda,
She
bomb
was the one
diggity.
that
Shout outs to Wanda.
set the whole mood here. She told me exactly what I kind of needed. I kind of like gave her like a idea.
It's perfect.
And
I
then I
almost feel
told
like
her,
she knows me.
hey, listen, she does. All I said was, give me a black wall. After you give me a black wall, we could do whatever. And she was like,
Gorgeous.
all right, cool, let's
Todo esto
set
está
it
bello.
up. And it took some time to set up, of course. You know, this is like months now, right, in the making. I'm still like touching it up. But ladies, thank you for coming. Welcome to my home, of course. Welcome to the podcast. I know you guys took a long trip today from New Jersey.
Yes, we
So, you know, I know, el ajetreo que ustedes tomaron para llegar aquí. So thank you. I appreciate you.
It's all right.
Let's start in the very beginning. And let's not even talk about business. Tell me about yourselves, your upbringing. ¿Dónde
Yes, Cheily.
nacieron?
Tell us about your upbringing.
Okay.
Yes.
Ok, esto yo lo voy a decir en español. Bueno, ya tú me presentaste. Mi nombre es Cheily. Yo soy de República Dominicana, del Cibao. La gente que hablamos con la I nos relajan por eso, porque hablamos con la I.
Claro, muchas veces.
Pero bueno, vengo de una familia muy humilde, realmente. Soy la hija mayor y la nieta mayor. Okay. Tengo 10 años viviendo aquí en Estados Unidos. Tengo 2 hijos, una hembra y un varón.
Okay.
¿Qué más te digo? No sé. ¿Qué más decir?
Well, thank you. Thank you, yeah, Madelyn.
Where do I come from? I come from Queens.
That's right. You
I'm
were
from
a Queens.
Yes.
Wow, I forgot about that. Okay.
I was born in Elmhurst Hospital. I grew up in Jackson Heights. I lived in Flushing. And then we transitioned to the Bronx, which changed a whole lot of things. But I'm currently in New Jersey.
I didn't know all that about you. I knew the Queens part. I didn't know you lived in Jackson Heights and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. Wow. When did you move to the Bronx?
High school. Best time.
Okay, yeah.
Best time.
Best time to move.
The best time.
Of course. Yeah, no, I'm from Queens too. Of course, you know that. I'm from Jamaica, Queens,
Whoop,
but
whoop.
of course, Queens in the house always. But welcome again, ladies. Thank you for getting comfortable. I know it took a little bit
Yeah.
of calmness. You guys have your wine. You good?
I'm feeling better.
You're good. So I want to start off also by asking you guys about this 5 a.m. routine that you guys have currently. Every day at 5 a.m. Well, I don't wake up at, well, I'm going to tell you later. But what I do is I tried to wake up at 5 a.m. in the beginning of the year, and then it slowly became 5:15, 5:30, and now it's like 7:30.
Well, let me tell you, it wasn't something completely easy. And every time I mentioned it to Cheily, she was like, "You're crazy."
Yes, I
She
did.
was a hard no for a long time.
Also, you just started this.
She started,
Yeah.
I would say, like last year. I don't know when,
Yeah,
but
a few months ago.
yeah,
I started.
She and I
But I used to wake up at 6. It's just to wake up at 5.
She's like, tú te estás volviendo loca.
Yeah.
Yo a las 5 no me voy a despertar. Like, ¿qué va a ser de mi vida if I wake up at 5?
Sí.
But for me is when I figured out that as a mom, it's been hard to find that time for yourself. I had to get up earlier because at that time, it's like I feel like I get the best out of me, and it's like you kind of pour into yourself first thing in the morning versus the end of the day. So for me, I feel like the end of the day is like you're giving crumbs to whatever you're doing. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like working out at night doesn't work for me because I'm exhausted, I'm tired. It just doesn't work for me. So for me, the best time is in the morning. Now, I always want to add more to my morning routine. And so yeah, right now we're doing 4:45.
4:40, both of you together.
Yes.
So you are on board.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on board. Porque lo que pasa es, por ejemplo, yo me despertaba a las 6, pero Madelyn siempre me decía, vamos a levantarnos a las 5, vamos a levantarnos a las 5, porque nosotras muchas veces como que nos motivamos una a la otra para crear metas, para hacerlo en conjunto. Entonces, después, yo dije, ¿tú sabes qué? Mi propia rutina me llevó a eso, porque yo dije, si yo quiero tener más tiempo para mí, es como un tiempo tranquilo, hago mi ejercicio, porque tú sabes que cuando uno es madre, esposa, ama de casa, uno tiene muchas cosas que hacer. ¿Qué tenemos que levantar a los niños a las 7? Entonces yo me levantaba a las 6, hacía ejercicio huyendo y todo era como muy rápido. Entonces yo empecé a practicar lo de las 5 y realmente me funciona porque es el tiempo para mí, me siento bien, levanto a los niños tranquila y el día me rinde, porque déjame decirte que ya para tú hacer ejercicio en la noche, cuando tú tienes la casa, tienes el negocio, tienes los niños, es muy difícil porque ya yo estoy agotada en la noche.
Yeah.
Entonces yo siento que ese momento, uno como mujer tiene que aprender a sacar ese momento para uno, y las primeras horas de la mañana son como perfectas para eso.
You know,
And
it's-
that takes
yeah.
steps.
Go ahead. Yeah.
We started first waking up at 5:30 and we were getting to the gym at 6. We wouldn't make it to the gym till like 6:15. And then we would do like el tiempo no lo daba para terminar la rutina de ejercicio. And it was like, nosotros siempre estábamos como, like out of breath, like making it to one thing to the next, to meeting it to a certain like time. So
Yeah.
then it was kind of like, no, we got to do half an hour more. And it was like the little by little, the half an hour more, it came up to like being at the gym at 6:15 to now being at the gym, let's say 5:30 or 5 o'clock.
Y también, por ejemplo, para nosotras es como también crear una inspiración para otras mujeres, porque uno sabe que no es fácil cuando tú tienes un trabajo y tienes muchas cosas que las mujeres no tienen tiempo.
Exacto.
Entonces, nosotras queremos ser el ejemplo, y con esos videos, porque aparte de que nosotros lo hacemos, nosotros lo promovemos y lo
Yes.
posteamos en las redes sociales. Entonces, el objetivo es que cada vez que yo poste ese video, cualquier mujer que me esté viendo, que esté en su cama, que esté con el teléfono, que vea el video luego, se motive. Y que vea que si yo puedo, ella puede también. Entonces, es como un método de nosotras inspirar a más mujeres.
Y se armaba un grupito.
Sí, ¿no? Y muchas personas se han motivado. Mira, a través de las redes, muchas chicas nos escriben y se están levantando, están haciendo el ejercicio en su casa y ponen los videos también. O sea, es como, también nosotros lo hacemos como una motivación para más chicas que lo puedan hacer.
That's beautiful because both of you are mothers, right? How many kids?
3.
How many kids?
So,
5 kids in total.
Yes.
And you guys get the energy that early to pour into yourself. You said that earlier in the conversation. And it's important because I was going to say, you know, when I started doing it for that same reason, because in the morning is the best time for you to kind of like be by yourself, have that time, reflect, and start the day off right. Because if I start off the day by getting a few exercises in, I feel more energetic. Even though at night I feel more tired, but it's the opposite. If I work out at night, it's a lot more of a struggle.
And then it's like you kind of take like an energy drink to do an exercise and at night, and then tu pierdes el sueño too.
Yeah,
So it's like
that's true.
Mira, a veces yo voy al gimnasio y estoy haciendo ejercicio, lo que sea, pero hay veces que yo voy, hago un poquito de ejercicio y me pongo en el piso así a boca arriba con el yoga mat a estirarme y me relajo y yo digo, wow, ni aunque sea, tú sabes, hice ejercicio, pero el hecho de yo levantarme, estar ahí, como que calmarme o tomarme ese tiempo para mí. Y no, y después llego yo a la casa voceando como que son las 10 de la mañana y todo el mundo duerme.
Yo, do you know like stores open at 10 o'clock? Like, must be nice. Must be nice. Like, I'm up this early and it's like you go somewhere at 10 o'clock. Like, the only thing that's open at the time, our time, is the Walmart.
Yo entro a la casa y mi esposo está durmiendo, el niño también. Yo entro y dije, hello, good morning, levántase. Y tú sabes, como con esa energía y todo el mundo dice.
You spoke on motherhood earlier. Las dos son madres, pero ¿cómo ustedes balancean eso? Like, being a mother is a tough job on its own, right? And then to work out and have that much energy and start the day off like that, how do you balance it out? Is there a day off in this?
Bueno, cuando tú eres madre, you don't have any day off.
Well, in the motherhood, no. I'm talking about the workout routine.
Oh, the workout routine. Bueno, yo realmente, en especial, a mí me gusta hacer ejercicio mínimo 5 días a la semana. Porque, no sé, yo tengo mi meta de cómo yo quiero, a dónde yo quiero llevar mi físico y todo eso. Y me gusta hacer 5 días a la semana. Pero a veces también, para hacer el balance con los hijos, por eso es lo de la hora de las 5 de la mañana. Por eso que nosotros tenemos ese horario. Porque es que si tú no lo haces temprano, si tú eres madre y no lo haces temprano, olvídate, se te hace muy difícil porque realmente yo siento que tú necesitas una paz mental. Porque a veces tú lo pasas en la casa y los niños gritando y todo eso, tú no te enfocas, ¿me entiendes?
Yeah.
Es difícil. Entonces, el balance con los niños y todo eso, dedicarle su tiempo, ese tiempo es para nosotras. Entonces, nosotros hacemos muchísimas cosas más, pero cuando estamos con ellos, tratamos de darle calidad de tiempo, que si es una hora, media hora que tú vas a coger con tu niño, eso sea una calidad de tiempo para ellos. Y también, algo que a mí me funciona mucho personalmente, es yo comparto mis metas con mis niños para que ellos sepan por qué yo hago cada cosa. Y yo lo involucro a ellos.
We're going to talk about that.
Entonces, yo lo involucro.
You was going to say something? Yeah. No, I was going to say, yes, we're gonna hit on that later because yo quiero saber cómo ustedes lo involucran y cómo yo ven eso, right? How do they look at that? But now your day starts at 5, you worked out, you're energized, you probably had like your morning energy drink, caffeine and all that stuff.
I'm always on something, never sober. Never
What
sober.
are you on right now?
Bueno, yo me tomo ese tea.
Thanks, Wanda.
I drink that tea that give me energy and let's go.
Listen, let me tell you something about that tea. That tea
It works.
it's powerful, man. Listen,
It works.
I drank it like one time at 5 a.m. and I was like, woo, let's go.
Let me tell you something. Before I even started this whole journey, and when I first started this whole complete journey period,
It's transformation.
yeah. I want to state this part because it's very important that a lot of people understand that when you have energy, you're gonna be in a good mood. Like, people don't understand that if you are not on energy, like, people like try to put this on the side and they're like, no, I don't need it. I don't need this. I don't need that. It's okay. Hey, I respect your opinion, but I do need it. You know, I have no time to slack. I have no time to like let things go or like, te juro, if I get home and I don't go right to doing homework or whatever and I decide to sit down, the whole schedule is ruined. Like, I'm talking about the bedtime routine is out of place, the reading vlog, the showering, the feeding, everything is out of place. Like, I literally have to drink energy before I get home, like ready for my second job.
Right.
And before all of this, like what I was going to tell you is that motherhood wasn't what I expected. Like, as much as I wanted to be a mother, and a mother was like, for me, like, all like a skip in a park and all rainbows and shines and flowers at the botanical garden, it wasn't that, you know? And it got to a point that I didn't want to be a mom. And it was like, what is going on? And it was just that, like, I didn't pour into myself. I didn't have the energy I needed. And I didn't understand that for me to be there for my son at the time, because I had one at the time, I had to pour into myself because I had nothing to give. I was giving from an empty cup. So when I learned the beauty of a morning routine, that's when things changed for me. So I respect my morning routine.
You seem like, both of you seem like agenda ready.
Yes.
You guys
we'll
seem
have our
like you guys
agenda.
have like this big calendar at work, and we're gonna get to the business side. It seems like you guys have like this big calendar at work, and you're going, okay, X on 15, on the 17th we're doing this, on the 18th we're doing that.
Oh, yes.
I could tell you guys are very agenda driven.
No, and that is very important to keep the balance with your family and your business,
100%.
that the agenda, because then you see, okay, we even plan. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me.
We're growing up, baby. We're growing up.
El inglés, mi amor,
Okay,
kicking in.
English. So we even plan our activity with our kids. Sometimes
Yes.
we do it together, sometimes we do it apart, but it's always like we work with the agenda, so it helps us a lot. So
Is it just you two with the agenda, or your partners also? You got your partners into the agenda life.
The calendar is like on the wall. We
They
do not
ask-
even look at it. They
No,
know it's
and-
there,
and
but they
my
don't look at
husband,
it.
He asked me, "Oh, you have something to do this day?" Because let me check my agenda.
Listen,
Okay, yes.
I remind
I
the
do the same
agenda a week before, a month before, the day before, the hours before, and still
And let me
ask
tell you,
what.
I learned that. I learned that from.
Sorry, babe. Sorry.
It's
I
normal.
I do that too. Go ahead, Cheily. I'm
I
sorry.
learned that from Mari, the agenda. Actually, I have my agenda, but she's more like into that, so more disciplined. She has more
have
discipline
to.
with the agenda. I have it, but I wasn't like.
She had me as her secretary. Madeline, are we busy this day?
and she was. No, but now, yeah.
Now she has one of her
Yeah.
own.
No, but
that she writes
I have
on.
my. The thing was like I wasn't using like you are more detailed stuff like that. But I learned that from her. So with the kids in the houses,
It works.
You know, Cheily,
works.
we met recently, of course. Madelyn I've known for over 15 years, and she's always been in like 2030. Like especially in now, like over the past few years, it's like every time I talk to her, she's like, okay, what are we doing in 2040? This and this and that. Like she's always planning ahead. So she's been that way for a while, and you know, I give it up to you because mother of three, right? Business owner, which we're gonna get into in a moment, both of you guys. Agenda for the morning, agenda for the kids, agenda for the evening. Like this is a lot. I wanted to ask you guys.
You know, I don't really notice all of this until you like
Hey, man, listen,
stand it out.
somebody-
Like you're
somebody-
pinpointing all of these, and I'm just like, oh my god,
Yes.
you're starting to scare me.
No,
Listen,
and
yeah.
let me tell you something. It doesn't mean like because things happen. Because now we're promoting that we have agenda. It doesn't mean like we have a perfect life.
Right.
No.
So sometimes things happen.
Right.
Agenda help you to keep you more
the mark.
organized. Okay, sorry. I know.
Go ahead.
The agenda help you to keep you more organized, but actually thing happens. It's just like, it's not perfect because,
Right,
I don't want to sell you that I have a perfect agenda, a
Right.
perfect routine.
Right.
We try, but
It's something to follow.
Yes.
Every day. Every day. I was gonna ask you both. Now I know your morning routine is top notch, right? And it's a must at this point. You guys have an agenda. Everything is written down. You guys know exactly what to do. After that, the day starts, right? The kids wake up, they go to school. That's an agenda of its own, right? Because I see it every day here with my wife too. She does a lot in the morning, right? So then you guys have a business to run.
Yes,
So
we do.
talk to me about the challenges between motherhood and running a business. What challenges did you guys run into?
I don't know where you want to start.
Wherever you want to start.
Bueno, ¿qué te digo? Realmente el tiempo es algo que es challenging para ti, la casa y el esposo, porque eso va dentro de todo el paquete, la casa, la familia. Entonces, al principio sí hay muchas, ¿cómo te digo? Hay muchos retos cuando tú estás empezando, pero realmente una de las cosas que a nosotras no ha funcionado es que también compartir, cuando tú tienes un proyecto, yo siento que tú tienes que compartir esa meta con tu familia para que ellos sepan qué esperar.
100%.
Entonces, yo hice eso con mi esposo y con los niños. Tú sabes, nosotros estamos haciendo este business, todo esto, van a haber muchos momentos que mami no va a poder estar aquí. A mi esposo le decía, no, hicimos un acuerdo, ¿me entiendes? Hicimos un acuerdo. Pero también involucrarlo. Realmente es para nosotros una bendición porque lo que nosotros hacemos como es promover un estilo de vida saludable, nuestros hijos le encantan y realmente ellos están involucrados totalmente con esto.
Okay.
Ellos van allá con nosotros al local y como que no se ha sentido tanto eso porque a ellos les gusta. Ellos están Mi hija salió a regar, y el hijo de ella, el más grande también, salían a regar flyer con nosotros. Y ellos se divertían, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, es algo como tan bonito que realmente nuestros hijos están muy involucrados.
Beautiful. What challenges do you face?
I feel that going from being a stay-at-home mom completely to going into working, I have over 9 years, I want to say. 9 years without like a 9 to 5, if you want to call it. Because,
Right.
yeah, I worked from home, which was also challenging. Understanding when to stop the dishes and when to pick up the phone and when to send out a message or an email
a lot.
versus going to cook. So I had to learn how to discipline that. Then when I went from being a stay-at-home mom to having a business, it was very challenging, but I was positive because I was doing my personal development.
Right back to personal development.
Personal development. And personal development hand on hand with my spiritual journey. I had to clock into my spiritual journey more than ever. It was something that I felt like God had to guide me, and there was more silence from me, like less talking and more listening.
Yeah.
And I allowed him, God, to guide me through things that were out of my control, because I feel like now it's crazy, because it's like I feel like so much people have seen our growth in the business and in a lot of areas, and it's just that constant trial and error.
Yeah.
There's no like perfection. It's just progress. And it's just that personal development from both of us too, from our families, because that's not only us, like the fact that they support us in all of this and they don't kick us out of the house.
Right, right.
We are both like workaholics. We love to work. To get us out of the hub is hard.
It's hard.
Oh, no, I could
Sometimes
tell.
I'm
We're off and we're there.
And I'm there and I can't get. Yesterday I was off and I was there and I can't. I said, Marty, kick me out.
Like we just created a schedule on purpose so that we can
Another addition to the agenda.
we on purpose scheduled our day off. And even half a days, like you open, I close, or vice versa, for us to get out, not get burned out, do things at home, run errands, because things were getting piled up in all areas because we were trying to like multitask everywhere. And it's like, even on our days off, we're there. It's so crazy.
It's funny because isn't it incredible when you love something, you
yes.
can't just stop doing it.
I'm addicted.
Even this for me has become like an addiction. I could
Yes.
be here all day. Yes, I have a 9 to 5 for now until this picks up. But once this picks up, this is my passion project. So now it's become like my baby, and it's like I could see myself doing this all the time. And like I always say, you mentioned God. This is all God's work too, because God had put it in you so you could utilize it and do something with it. But people have to realize what God has put it in you first, and you guys realized exactly the potential that you had because you're spiritually guided by God, and that's excellent.
And do you know something like that's crazy, like the way that God like guide you? Because at the beginning, it's I told her like it's like the picture when God take away something from you and give you something bigger. Yeah. Because we were looking for a place to do Zumba. We are Zumba instructors, so we were looking for a place to do Zumba first at the beginning, and we couldn't find the place, and we're so like, why we couldn't find that place? We were looking for, and then
because hold on, pause. We were looking for a place to offer a workout class,
right,
that we can manage as a stay-at-home mom with our 5 kids that are in all the extra curriculum that there is out there. Okay.
Agenda.
So we wanted to find a small time to offer a workout class for moms like us that can bring their kids. So this was all a mistake.
And then that happened, but a good mistake. But I feel like, because we were praying before, like God guide us. We want to do something like we can have our family, the kids, like work with the time with the kids. And, that happened. So I feel like as the picture that I told you, the picture when God take you something that you have in your hand and give you something better, this is how we feel, because we were looking for a small place to do Zumba. We couldn't find it.
Right.
We said like,
And sometimes you hold on to things that you really want, thinking that that's the right thing to do. And God's like, no, give me that. I got something better. And you'll never see it until you go through it. And I'm glad you guys are living your full potential. And you guys seem very happy at what you do. And I could tell that you guys don't leave the hub, to be honest. Because the day that I went to visit you guys, I think Madelyn told me, I was supposed to be out of here like 3 hours ago, but I'm here because, et cetera, et cetera.
It happens all the time.
By the way, let me
everything
tell you something. I got to say this. Best donuts I've ever tasted in my life. Protein donuts, best energy drinks. Listen, thank you for bringing me some today. If you wouldn't have brought some for me and for my wife, it would have been an issue, but thank you. I would have sent you back home, but thank you for bringing it anyway.
You're very welcome.
How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, man.
Ay, es una historia, mi amor,
Go ahead,
larguísima.
let me tell them.
Cheily and I were, if you notice, I'm more fluent in English. Yo te pico el español, pero my Spanish not always very good looking.
Yeah.
Y Cheily es al revés.
The yin to the yang.
Cheily,
But
yo.
I'm learning, baby.
Y yo también, yo le pico el español.
Listen, when she goes on English, she's like, bam,
Yes,
like, professional.
no, but I need to get out of my comfort zone because I'm in the United States. I need to learn.
Yes, baby. Okay.
I'm proud of myself.
I'm very proud of her too.
You know
speak
why?
well.
Because I'm speaking another language, and I have
100%.
just 10 years living here, and I feel like every day I'm learning more and more and more. So I feel good.
Listen, there's people that have 20 years here, like my parents, and they hardly speak English. I mean, they understand it,
Yes.
but
No, and I want to
pat yourself in the back. You're doing
She's
great.
just great. And she actually tries to use words, like big words.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. It should be actually,
¿Cómo?
actually, literally. ¿Cómo es,
You
Madelyn?
know-
Literally.
And you know what? Like, have me like stop, like sometimes learning because my kids, I want them to learn Spanish.
That's tough for me.
And I have to, and I told my daughter, look, I'm giving you the opportunity to learn Spanish at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like stopping myself to learn English because I'm speaking Spanish because of them.
Right.
And they don't want to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Same problem here.
Yeah. But I keep trying.
My oldest, she understands it. But my youngest,
But you know what?
Forget
I'm doing?
about it.
You know what I'm doing? Like I found a way. Like what I'm doing, I don't force them to speak Spanish, but I make them read in Spanish at night. So I know they're gonna grab something. And now she's reading in Spanish.
listen, I went to Dominican Republic for 9th and 10th grade. And, I grew up with Spanish parents, so I knew Spanish, el español picado. But when I went to learn, like to study in Spanish, chemistry, math, history, all that in Spanish.
You went to school?
I went to school, like 9th and 10th grade in Dominican Republic.
That means you were bad.
Something happened. That's a whole different story. I'll let you guys know about that later on.
Eso es lo que yo hacía antes. Ellos de que el muchacho se portaba mal, lo mandaba.
Something happened in 8th grade here, but that's a whole different story. It's a whole, it's a past
We
life.
need to make a podcast about that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll talk about that some other time.
I was interviewing you.
Yeah, we're everybody's okay though. Everybody's okay. The whole thing is that when I went over there to learn how to study in Spanish, that was tough. But then I started reading in Spanish, and now I could read books like super fast
wow.
in Spanish because
good.
the language is there already. Y yo hablo español. Pero it's important for our kids, like you were saying, to learn Spanish too. But my youngest, she doesn't want to. My oldest, they don't
was me.
speak Spanish, but they
understand.
My youngest doesn't even understand it.
That
She'll be
was
like,
me
speak
growing
English.
up.
What are you talking about?
That was me growing up.
Oh.
Like Dora was born in DR, but like my older sister, she was born in DR. And she can write, she can speak, she can read. But to be completely honest with you, I never really had interest in.
Yeah, but you
Going
learn
in.
when you met me.
I would speak and I would defend myself,
Right.
but it was así como slang.
Of course.
And yes, I've gotten better. So I be saying like some nice big words too. You didn't compliment me on that.
Sí, no, es verdad. She's doing very good. Ella dice unas palabras que yo digo, wow.
You see?
Entonces, así fue que nosotras nos conocimos realmente.
She didn't say a word, but she said, "You see."
You see? I'll tell you.
Go ahead, Cheily,
No,
I'm
but we
sorry.
were both strangers. It was weird. We met over a friend of mine that she had a connection with one of my friends, and it was so weird because we met on a phone call. She invited me over, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was doing Zumba classes.
It was like a blind date.
I was doing Zumba classes and I invite one of her friends and she said, oh, I know, I have a friend that I know that she would like to do this. And
I hit her up and she invited me and I went.
How long you guys known each other?
Noah 7, so 6 years.
6 years. Nice.
6 years.
Beautiful. You, Cheily, mentioned something beautiful earlier where you say your kids are also involved in the business, right?
Yes, they are.
So tell me a little bit about that because, it's important for our kids to see what we do, especially this is your passion project. I could
Yes,
tell.
it is.
So they're involved in your passion project. How do you see them reacting to it? Do they want to take on the business in the future and do their own, create their own business because they're looking at power moms, right?
Yeah.
You guys are the superheroes. You guys are doing it all.
I wouldn't say all of that, but
No, you guys are. Listen, I'm going to give you your flowers. You wake up early, you have an agenda. You go to the business, you have an agenda. Kids wake up, they go to school, you have an agenda. Nighttime,
And
everything is an agenda.
They play sports too.
So that's on. Listen,
This is the second
that's
part.
the extra on top. So it's you. You guys are everywhere. You guys are super mom to your kids. My wife is super mom to my babies. I could tell she does a lot. You guys do a lot, but talk to me about the kids and the business. How do you see that interaction? How's that going?
Bueno, esto sí lo voy a decir en español, mi amor.
Ajá.
Entonces, ¿qué te digo? Por el hecho de que realmente son muchos factores. Primer factor, nosotros siempre tomamos en cuenta la relación de nuestros hijos con nosotros. Para nosotros es algo muy importante. Entonces, siempre tratamos de involucrarlo a ellos en lo que nosotros estamos haciendo.
Uh-huh.
Entonces, ¿qué pasa? También ellos practican deportes. Entonces, al ellos practicar deporte, y esto va de la mano con lo que nosotros hacemos, ellos como que les gusta. Ellos les gusta porque ellos se sienten que la nutrición, que nosotros hacemos ejercicio. Entonces, yo siento que ellos como que a través de todo lo que nosotros hacemos se han involucrado y también nosotros mismas le damos la participación, lo invitamos. A nosotros hacemos mucho evento y siempre lo ponemos a ayudarnos también. Cuando nosotros estábamos abriendo el local, como te dije ahorita, los niños de nosotros salieron a regar flyers con nosotros.
Yeah.
Pero nosotros tratamos de hacerlo como divertido para ellos.
Right.
¿Entiendes?
Right.
Como, mira, vamos a regar flyers. Entonces, eso es muy bonito. Realmente, cuando tú eres padre, eso es como una forma de tú conectar con ellos y también involucrarlo en tu proyecto. Y eso lo hace más fácil porque así ellos te están ayudando a ti y te están ayudando en el trabajo porque ellos salieron con nosotros a regar muchísimos flyers. Entonces, 100%. Eso nos ayuda a nosotros también.
No, and them giving out flyers, they get to understand that this takes a lot of work. This is just one part.
Sí.
But you also got to take care of the business. You also got to take care of the customer. You got to be, it's a lot.
Sí, pero yo sí lo veo a ellos como que ellos se identifican porque lo veo que también ellos, el de Madelyn también a veces ellos se quieren poner en la caja, cobrar, como que yo lo visualizo a ellos que ellos van a estar en un verano pronto ayudándonos a nosotros ahí en el local. Yo lo veo, de verdad que sí.
I can see that, yeah.
I think it also has a lot to do with causing awareness. So what happens with us is that as parents, we're leaders.
Yes.
And as you may see it, you may not see it like that. But the fact that because we're doing our personal development, back to personal development,
100%.
Allows us to sharpen areas that we're either lacking or how we can strengthen those areas that we are, let's say, doing better. So, for example, as parents or as moms, we're leaders to our kids. They're going to do exactly what they see us doing. They're going to either desire or not desire. But the way that how we manage everything that we do on a daily basis is what they see and they're going to want to do, is what we believe. And we're not perfect in any way. Do I want to be seen as perfect? But I do believe that where we can get better, like we give compliments, like we give advice to each other.
Right.
And it's great because me and Cheily, like hands down, like we really work together. Like there is a lot of teamwork. There's a lot of communication. There's moments where, maybe you don't want to hear that, but because we care about each other, we're going to tell each other, like we have that relationship. Like there's a point, let's say maybe me and Noah are not having a good time because, there's highs and lows in parenting.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll mention it to her and she'll be like, listen, maybe you should try this. And she'll go through something. She's like, listen, I'm going through this. But the fact of us being able to lead our kids to what it is. So I feel, to be completely honest, us coming from immigrant parents, believing in the traditional way of living, of going to school and getting a job. That's what we grew up knowing. And that's why I feel like entrepreneurship for us minorities is so hard, because I feel like because they didn't want to get out of their comfort zone and seek out of security, they just thought inside the box, seeking for that paycheck, seeking for that secure job.
Yeah.
We didn't think out of the box. So what's going to happen is that if we continue that, our kids are going to continue that, right? Yeah. But the fact that we're thinking out of the box, that we're exposing ourselves, that we're going out there, our kids, like they do it and they don't even notice that that's like a skill. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's because we're exposing them to that.
Right.
You understand? So it's
going to become second nature to them.
Yes.
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 And these are the values that you're instilling
yes.
in them. 100%.
That personal development of either listening to something, of reading a book, of you seeing something like, because if you're going to be with somebody all the time, they're going to see like some gaps that you may have throughout the day, right? So it's like, how can I adjust that? Because we are very family oriented, both of us. Our goal is to always maintain our family, good, whether that's the husband, the kids, ourselves, always looking good for whatever reason, like it's not a competition thing. It's always like empowering, right? In all areas.
Right.
So the fact that we can complement each other's in those gaps help even the kids.
Right. It strengthens both of your families.
Yes.
Your relationship. Right. You mentioned something earlier that I want to bring up, because every entrepreneur wants to give up at some point, right?
All the time.
Talk to me about how you deal with that, because there's times I want to give this up, believe it or not. And I just started. But in reality, this is 3 years of work.
Yes. I have over 6 years being an entrepreneur, and there was many times where I wanted to give up before. But I feel like now I found myself. This is me. This is my personality. Like, con todo y todo, like, I love what I do. I am passionate about it. I get up in the morning, like, ready to go to work. I'm excited to go to work. It's everything. Like, so giving up for me, like, instead, it's like the opposite. It's like, where can we get better? What are we going to do next? What's the next project? Like, our agenda is all over the place. And we're already thinking, like, what are we doing in March? Like, people were telling us, like, something about February. We're like, no, it doesn't fit in February.
I got lucky. Thank you for coming.
Not in February. Like, you want to book something, we got to book something in March. But it's so exciting because I feel like, for example, when you understand your purpose and you understand your passion, you want to deliver. Like, I feel like we are, how do you say that? In alignment. We are, ¿cómo te digo?
Purpose-driven.
Yeah, we're purpose-driven, but like I feel like at this point in our life right now, it's more like, how are we going to lead more people to find themselves like us? Because this was not like an overnight thing. This was not like, I just woke up and guess what? I love what I do. Like, no, this is like, it took time, patience, and a lot of inside work, like a lot of discovery. What do you like? What do you not like? For example, at the hub, we got different roles. You won't even see it. And it's like, you can't, like, the reason why the hub flows is because we know our strength and it's like, go for it. Like, her strength, I respect. I let her be. You understand? Right. She knows my strength. She lets me be. Hey, you need help? Or, like, that's why it flows, because it's like the gaps are being filled in.
100%.
So to be honest with you, yes, as entrepreneurs, there's going to be many times where you feel like you want to give up, but it's because you're not discovering yourself. You have a stay still is because you almost want to give up. But if you want to give up, it's because you're not discovering more.
It's all based on fear.
Yes.
Your fear.
Fear is a whole topic. We could go into fear.
No, y también, por ejemplo, un consejo que yo le puedo dar a esas personas que quieren ser entrepreneur o que son entrepreneur. Se me fue esa palabra en inglés.
Dueño de negocio.
Entrepreneur. ok, ¿qué pasa? Que a veces tú tienes que encontrar tu pasión, ¿qué te apasiona?
Right.
¿Me entiendes? Porque hay muchas cosas. A veces las personas dicen, yo quiero hacer algo, pero no saben ni qué hacer. Tú tienes que encontrar algo que te apasione, algo que tú sientas de verdad que te gusta hacer. Porque cuando tú estás haciendo algo que te gusta hacer, tú como que los obstáculos, tú te los vuelas. Tú vas viendo un obstáculo por aquí, te lo vas volando. Entonces, cada vez que nosotros se nos ponía un reto, como nosotros estamos tan apasionados por lo que nosotros estamos haciendo, realmente uno lo que busca es la solución, ¿me entiendes?
Yeah.
Uno no ve el problema, ¿cuál es la solución? Porque ya uno tiene una meta y está apasionado.
Right.
¿Entiendes? Entonces también uno de los obstáculos que te puedes pasar es la persona con la que tú te rodeas. A veces tú tienes una meta, tú tienes un sueño y hasta puede ser un propio familiar tuyo que te diga, no, tú no vas a dar para eso, tú esto, tú aquello. No, si está en tu corazón y tú lo sientes, tú tienes que hacerlo. Y rodearte de personas positivas, personas que estén enfocadas en que tengan metas similares a las tuyas. Porque, acuérdate, eso le pasa a muchas personas. Tú tienes una persona al lado que hasta tu propia pareja te puede desencantar. Pero ¿qué pasa? Esa persona tal vez no tienen meta y no tienen sueños y eso es lo que te transmite a ti. Entonces, si tú tienes algún proyecto y te apasiona ese proyecto, trabaja en él, ¿me entiendes? Y cree en ti, creen que tú lo puedes lograr. A todas esas madres también, por ejemplo, una de las metas de nosotras también es promover eso, el empoderamiento femenino, que hay muchas chicas en casa que a uno mismo le ha pasado, que tú estás en la casa y tú sientes que no, que tú estás bien porque tu esposo tiene un trabajo, te ayuda, bueno, te ayuda, no, cubre los gastos de la casa y tú tienes tus hijos, pero tú no te ves ahí, tú no ves que para ti tú puedes emprender, ¿me entiendes?
Right.
Porque tal vez tú te sientes con el tiempo de los hijos, ay no, porque entonces no voy a descuidar a los niños, que esto, que aquello. No, las mujeres tenemos también que empoderarnos. Si hay algo que te gusta hacer, dale, levántate, hazlo, busca el tiempo, organízate, porque eso es lo que nos está pasando a nosotras. Nosotros estábamos en la casa y teníamos los niños, pero buscamos la forma de cómo hacerlo, que también podamos dedicarle tiempo a nuestros hijos y también cumplir nuestros sueños y metas y lograr cosas grandes. Porque a veces las mujeres se limitan.
Yeah.
Porque están cómodas, pero que quisieran hacer algo por ella, pero esos miedos, que los hijos, que la casa, no, tú puedes salir, tú puedes, lo único que tienes que organizarte, pero puedes emprender.
You said something that struck, you know, the people around you, right? Even your family members. People are throwing salt that they don't even know that they're throwing salt. People love you. People will genuinely
Y ellos no
have
lo
love.
hacen con mala intención.
Right, no es con mala
como que
intención.
le sale así.
Le sale
lo
la
que está en
sal.
su mente, eso es lo que está en su mente.
Right, le sale la sal. Entonces tú lo recibes como sal. Pero they didn't even mean it. There's a lot of people out there. So you have to know the difference between people who you genuinely have love for and they have genuine love for you, but are doing that because they don't necessarily have goals of their own or they feel the fear, right? They go back to fear.
Y ellos no quieren hacerte daño. Simplemente que esa es la visión que ellos tienen. Ellos te están transmitiendo su visión, ¿me entiendes?
Right.
Porque ellos creen que te lo dicen por bien también.
This is why I'm a believer of staying quiet and just doing it and then let you know exactly what.
The vision that God gave you wasn't for them to understand.
No, I understand that too. I understand that 100%. But this is why I don't know about you guys, if you guys stood quiet with this project until it came up, right? And the Healthy Hub and all this, you know, agenda-driven, passion, mother, supermom
we
thing.
didn't announce it on social media, but the people in our surrounding obviously knew.
Right. No, I stood mega quiet. My inner circle knew about this.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Y algo también que nosotras, por ejemplo, nosotras somos bien espirituales. Nosotros siempre, todos los días, oramos y le decimos, Señor, que lo que nos convenga, tú no los pongas en nuestro camino. Y lo que no nos conviene en este negocio, sácalo de aquí.
100%.
Tú sabes, nosotros realmente desde el principio, nosotros le pedimos a Dios guía, que todo lo que nosotras hagamos es porque Dios quiere que sea así. Entonces yo siento que eso te da una fortaleza también, porque cuando las cosas tal vez no van tan como tú las estás esperando, nosotros siempre le buscamos el lado positivo y decimos, esto está pasando por una razón. Hay una razón que Dios está permitiendo esto para que nosotros subamos a otro nivel o la manera de trabajar, lo que sea, pero siempre con la meta enfocada en que Dios es nuestra guía. La verdad que sí. Nosotros...
And there's a lot of shaky stuff is because you're not clear about your goal. when you're shaky about your goal, like that's something that we had to learn when we were entrepreneurs. If you want something, you have to study it.
Oh, yes.
Okay? That's one. If you want happiness, you have to study happiness. If you want wealth, you have to study wealth. If you want a happy marriage, you have to study it. If you want happy kids, you got to study it. Like somebody before you has gone through exactly what you have went through. How do you shortcut it? Read a book. And I feel that because we learn how to do a vision board, be clear of what your goal is and work towards that. That's something that I learned that now as an adult. How to plan what you want. And it's not easy to just get up and be like, okay, we're going to do a vision board. This is exactly what I want. No, it doesn't work like that.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And like, even if you think you know what you want, like you put it on the vision board and you have to like digest it, like sleep on it, let it sit in. Is that really what I want? And now that you say you want it, are you willing to work for it?
Because you got to put in the work, baby.
It's commitment. It's sacrifice. 100%. It's willingness. It's blood and tears. Like, do you want it? And those are the things that those struggles, those challenges, they're part of the process. I feel like growing up, we're not equipped or we're not learned the tools.
Right.
So that when something doesn't go our way or we stumble in a challenge, is like we want to stop. That's it. Maybe this is a sign that this is the wrong way.
Yep.
And it's like, no, that's it. Failure. Like, that's it. I failed. No, failure is part of the process. Like learning the fact that now as an adult, like failure is part of the process. The more you fail, the better. Like, you know, you're failing forward.
The more you fail, the more you learn.
Yeah. And it's como te digo, like the whole topic of failure, for me, I find it so interesting because you can classify yourself easily and be like, you know what, that's it. I'm a loser. I'm not going anywhere. This just doesn't work out for me. I thought this was the career,
Right.
Okay. Like if I tell you all my backgrounds on my belt, like I did a whole bunch of stuff because I was looking for what is it that I wanted to do. And I enjoy numbers. I have my associates in accounting and my bachelor's in forensic accounting. I love numbers, but I'm more passionate in helping people. And the fact that what I'm doing now goes hand on hand of me taking care of myself, the more I take care of myself, because let me tell you, like depression, everyone has it. There's different levels to depression, whether that's postpartum, level 1 of depression, where, you know, you can feel emotional one day and not feel so emotional the next, or you can be suicidal. Like there's different levels to it. And I feel that if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you possibly lend a hand? That's like you're drowning. How can I help you if you don't have like a vest? We're both going to drown. And I feel like that goes hand in hand when it comes to failure, when it comes to struggle. If you're not equipped with it, if you're not equipped with what to do next, or that resilience of getting back up, you know, like understanding that the more you fall, just get up again, and keep trying it.
Right, you just got to keep trying it.
Porque lo que pasa es que también hay muchas personas que quieren lograr una meta y no están dispuestas a pagar el precio del proceso, ¿me entiendes?
Right.
Tú quieres, porque muchas veces nosotros vemos a esas personas que tienen éxito y tú solamente estás viendo la portada de la revista del éxito que tiene esa persona, pero nunca se ha hablado de
todo lo fallo.
De cuando tú fallas, de los fracasos. Y para tú llegar al éxito, tú tienes que fracasar muchas veces. Entonces, eso también yo siento que es algo bueno que uno promueva, porque así el emprendedor entiende que nada más no es a él que le está pasando, porque tú, como dice Madelyn, tú puedes decir, no, esto no es para mí, pero es que no. Tú sabes, la veces, hasta para nosotros preparar un menú, una receta, la veces que nosotros practicamos cada bebida, que se ha desperdiciado producto porque la bebida no sale como nosotras queremos que salga. Entonces, hasta eso todo tiene un proceso. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Tú tienes que educarte. Por eso es que es tan importante leer, crecimiento personal, porque ahí tú comprendes que eso nada más no es a ti que te está pasando. Y eso te ayuda a tú entender el proceso, a aprender del proceso, qué tú hiciste mal. Y tú entiendes, y a recapacitar y a poder aplicar cosas nuevas que te van a llevar al siguiente nivel.
I think, as you guys are speaking, I'm also thinking that that's God's journey for you.
Absolutely.
So God, you ask God, this is what I want, right? So then he says, okay, these are the challenges I have.
Yeah.
But you
So
gotta
make sure.
you gotta face every single challenge.
Yes.
And at the end, you're gonna have what you want.
Yes.
And throughout that whole process, you're building character, you're
Yes.
building strengths, you're
thick
building
skin.
Sí.
thick skin, you're building all of these different things, and then you come out on the other side a whole different person.
Yes.
Right.
That's
and then
true.
and then you can elevate someone else.
You
at
see
that
someone
point.
start and then you see someone cross the stage, but you don't know the in between.
Woof.
And then you see people like their posture change. And it's like, and these are the things that I'm telling you that like you have to study. You have to study these things. Like, why is their posture different? Why is their handshake different? Why do they sit different? Why do they walk this way? Why do they speak this way? And it's all that, the thick skin that you have to grow in between that. That's your journey. Like when you understand, and let me tell you, last year, I studied wealth. Because I told you, right? If you want it, you gotta study it.
That's where we're headed, baby.
It's coming. But anyways, and I studied wealth last year, and every book that I've read speaks about the higher power of how wealth goes hand in hand with the Bible. It's crazy how I'm talking about even the science of getting rich. Like, it's crazy how everything goes hand in hand with the Bible. And it's like the Bible has the secret to everything. Like everyone reads The Secret. Yes, it's the law of attraction. It's because you're telling yourself you can do it. Why? Because God gives you that hope. He gives you that light. It's possible. So it's, ¿cómo te digo? Like, tú te tienes que saber cómo sobrellevar cuando a ti te está pasando algo y creer que, así como dijo Cheily, like, we don't know how to let go. We want more, but we don't know how to let go and let God. And once you
want it quick.
Yeah, and that's another thing, the immediate gratification.
Right.
You have to pay the price.
Yeah.
Because when you pay the price, you value it better. Mm-hmm. When something's given to you for free, you don't value it. Mm-hmm. But when you understand that you have to pay the price for everything that you want, you start viewing things different. Like your perspective of every failure or every drama or every problem, you see it different. Okay, now how am I going to face this? What attitude am I going to give it? Or how is my character going to show on this? Like, dude, like there's problems that happen even at the hub and it's like, breathe it out.
Man, listen, this is a therapy session.
Breathe it out.
Definitely.
And it's like, okay, God, how would, and I asked myself this, what would Madelyn's best version of herself be proud of how I react to this? Right? Because you have to think about your 2.0, right? Como quien dice.
Right.
Okay, so 2.0, if I want to look back in a year, would I be proud of myself of how I reacted to that? And it's like, you got to keep going back to yourself. Like,
Sí, porque tú sabes qué pasa. Muchas veces tú escuchas tu crecimiento personal, pero cuando te llega la prueba, que te llegue el momento que tú tienes que aplicarlo.
Yep.
Sí, porque tú estás leyendo, no, que tú tienes que ser de esta manera, que esto, que aquello, pero cuando te llegue el momento que tú tienes que aplicarlo, ahí es que tú sabes si de verdad tú aprendiste lo que el libro te dijo o lo que el audio te dijo. ¿Me entiendes?
100%.
Entonces, también otra cosa, que estábamos hablando de que las personas se dan por vencido y de eso que Madelyn estaba diciendo, de pagar el precio. Yo siento que tal vez un 90% de las personas ahí es que realmente se dan por vencido cuando llega el momento de pagar el precio por lo que tú quieres. El precio puede ser el tiempo, el trabajo que tú le tienes que dedicar. Entonces, esa parte tan difícil que uno ve, me estoy alejando del micrófono, espérate, que me voy para allá, Entonces, ahí es que yo siento que es el momento que puede ser que las personas se dan por vencido. Cuando le llegue ese momento de pagar el precio es el tiempo, el sacrificio que tú tienes que hacer para tú levantar tu negocio. Y eso es, en el emprendedor, mira, eso es para cuando tú emprendes, tienes que estar dispuesto.
You know what's crazy? As you guys are speaking, I'm here thinking about, I've seen this, I've seen it in different books or in, even posts, right? On Instagram or social media, where the guy's kind of like breaking the mountain.
Yeah.
And then he's like digging dirt, right?
3 feet away is called.
And then he's like, he stops
there.
right before.
It's in Think and Grow Rich, yeah.
Right, man, listen, that's what I'm thinking about as soon as you
Yeah.
guys are mentioning this. Yes, it's very true. You can't give up because when that
You don't know
time
how
comes,
close. You don't know how close you
you
are.
don't know how close you are. I got a question for you guys. Talk to me about your support system. Talk to me about it in the beginning versus now. Family, friends, strangers. Which one supports you the most?
God. Okay, so I'm very grateful that I have such a desire of wanting more. I think that's just something that I grew in with, like just understanding that when I was a kid, I always wanted more. That the fact that I educate myself, like, let me tell you, I recommend everyone to read Stand Alone.
We're going to talk about that later because I'm going to put it in my book list.
Yeah, Stand Alone. It's about women in leadership, women in business and leading. We are in a dominated country, a male-dominated country. And it's so easy for us to be dominated by men. And I feel like women have always been in a shadow. And it's because of our traditional ways, our upbringings of what we know. Like, we don't even need to blame anybody. That's what just, we were brought up this way. And it gets to a point that you feel that when you start something, you feel like you have to get the support from everyone. Everyone's not going to support you. And when people when you start something and you're so eager and you're so excited and you notice that this is what you want to do and people that you love most don't support you. Like, man, your knees get weak and you're a spaghetti. You're just like, forget it. I'm not even going to start.
Yep.
And I read this book called Stand Alone. And it was talking about how your loved ones are the ones that are going to give you your back first. And I feel that that book prepared me for what was coming. And it was so crazy because when I read that book, we had no intentions of even opening the hub. And I feel like that book prepared me, like it prepared my belt for what was coming so that when it started happening, I was like, this is part of the process. Did it hurt? Absolutely. Did I cry? Absolutely.
Did you mean to say your family's the first to give their back to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not just your family, it's whoever you love most.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, your loved
And
ones.
when you start seeing that, you're just like, this is. So the process that I learned was they'll first tell you, why are you doing that? It's not going to work. I told you this is not going to work. But then you're successful. I knew you would do it. And that's literally how it goes, right? It's first like, why are you even starting that? That's not going to work. This is not for you. I told you that's not going to work.
Wow.
But I knew you would make it. And when I read that book, you see how you get prepared for these things, right? And my biggest fall, or I would say hurtful moment, was my mother. So as my mother, I always looked up to her. And obviously, my mom has always she's been an spectacular mom. But when I became a mom, her expectations went to another standard.
Okay.
And she can get very hard on me, like to a point that I would like feel like I'm not a good mom.
Right.
And I would judge myself. And it's like, yo, all of these expectations, but I'm not you. Like at the end of the day, like all my mother loves to do is cook and clean, because that's what she thinks that every woman should be doing: cooking, cleaning, and serving her husband and serving her kids. The fact that I'm an entrepreneur, my mom was not very supportive, because she said that I should be raising my kids. And I also feel that as being a mom of 3, yes, my hands are full, but I don't limit myself. Like, I don't play the victim. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself because I'm a mom of 3. Instead, I get empowered because I'm like, yo, I got to raise these kids. I got to lead these kids. Like, the same way I wish I had someone leading me. Okay? So I didn't have an entrepreneurship leader in my family, woman, very few men. All I know about all the men in my life were that they worked very hard. So the fact that I wasn't always getting the support, and that I was instead judged because I was giving too much time to my business and not my kids at the moment, you have to, this is like where I'm telling you, like, you had to clock into God. Like, yo, my spiritual journey went to another level. And I learned how to stand alone. and wait for things to like always just give that best version of myself. With my partner, yes, it was very difficult at first because he was used to me being home all the time. The house was always clean. There was always food in the table.
Right.
And it's like, now you got to wait. And it's like, what do you mean I got to wait? You know, like I'm used to coming home and everything being done. And it's like, well, you got to give me a minute now, you know? Right. And it was an adjustment process, but I'm very grateful because through thick and thin, we're standing. 100%. And, como te digo, like, the grace of God, everything is not perfect, but everything is falling in place just the way God wants it.
I wanted to mention, I'm pretty sure your mother loves you dearly.
Yes.
She was probably projecting her own fears upon you.
Of course. But again, I had to prepare myself for those things, because if I didn't prepare those things, the hub wouldn't be the hub. Right. Because I would project that to the hub too.
Right.
You understand? Yep. And I would be like, you know what? I'm not capable. And that is, again, another problem that we're going through in our society. Because our family may not support us, or because we've never seen it possible, you feel like you're not enough and you're not capable, you're not worthy. And I got to a point where I felt like I was like that. But like, again, pouring into myself, that daily pour into myself is what allowed me to feel like I can do this. I'm not the victim. Who knows what best version of myself would be if I don't give it a try, you know? 100%. And I feel like not comparing yourself either, being inspired by people, but don't compare yourself. Like, you are your unique story. Everyone that writes a book, everyone that has a unique story, they have a unique story because they stand up for themselves. You know, so you have to, like, every step that you take, if you're a believer, you will understand that every step that you take is a bold step. And be confident about it, especially when in your heart and in your mind, you're not doing anything bad. Instead, you're giving out. Then go for it.
100%.
So you're not going to always have all the support, but in your heart and your mind, once you know that you can do this, then I would say give it your all. Don't leave nothing in the table. Make sure that every day you go to sleep, you feel like you gave it your all. It's going to be exhausting. But the fact that you can lay your head in bed and be like, I gave it my all, I feel fulfilled, I think that for me is
and you're proud of
rewarding.
Yourself. Yeah. What about you, Cheily? Your support system.
Oh my God, I was listening to her like,
man,
okay.
Listen, I'm here listening and I'm like, my God. Round of applause.
And I said that without crying. I'm so proud of
Listen, I thought a couple of tears was gonna come. I was gonna cry with you. We got napkins over here too. Listen,
it's called healing. Oh my God.
Listen, but thank God you read that book too. That book was a part of your process because it prepared you for that moment. But Cheily, yes.
Bueno, realmente sí, es muy común eso. Siempre que yo, como le doy consejos a la persona de cuando van a empezar un negocio, porque, por ejemplo, en mi caso, yo soy negociante desde chiquitica.
Okay.
Porque yo he vendido de todo. O sea, a mí me gusta eso de las ventas y realmente mi mamá, ella es, para mí en el diccionario, la definición de emprendedor está el nombre de mi mamá. Mi mamá fue muy emprendedora, realmente sí. Desde cero hasta arriba la vi crecer, muy negociante, sí. Beautiful. Entonces yo como que sí crecí en ese ambiente de emprendimiento a través de mi mamá. Y siempre como que traté de hacer algo así, siempre vendí cartera, vendí arete en la escuela, vendía de todo. El caso es que siempre como que incursioné en el mundo de las ventas y me daba cuenta a través de eso que la gente que te rodea no te apoya ni te compra. ¿Me entiendes? Siempre son desconocidos que confían más en ti. El que tal, no sé a qué se debe, pero es como un hecho lamentable.
Eso sí es verdad.
Es como un hecho lamentable.
¿Y qué tú has vendido?
Que una persona...
¿Y qué cartera y brazalete?
Cuando yo estaba en high school, yo vendía aretes, vendía relojes, porque mi mamá...
She's a hustler, man.
Y no te apoyaba nadie.
O sea, la familia tuya y amistad tuya, yo le podía vender a gente de otro curso, de otro grado, pero los que estaban en el grado mío no me compraban, ¿me entiendes?
Listen.
Entonces, no sé a qué se debe eso. Pero realmente sí, eso es demasiado normal y eso es algo que uno se tiene que acostumbrar porque tú estás abriendo, cuando tú vas a hacer algo, a hacer un proyecto, tú estás contando con la gente que te rodea. Yo siento que no. Tú primero tienes que hacer, como te dije anteriormente, porque te apasiona y porque tú sabes que te gusta y te vas a dar grande en eso, pero no contando en que tú vas a sobrevivir vendiéndole a tu círculo de influencia, porque lamentablemente no es así. Siempre el que uno no conoce que uno le invierte al negocio de uno. Pero bueno, en mi familia realmente mi esposo, él sí cuento con su apoyo. Lo mismo que dice Madelyn, tú sabes que te dicen que sí, pero cuando las cosas se están poniendo, que tú estás en el local,
La
que esto, que
dinámica se pone
aquello,
diferente, sí.
ellos se ponen un chin, pero siempre el apoyo ha estado ahí. Eh,
Words of good management.
Sí, realmente el apoyo ha estado ahí. Y como te digo, por ejemplo, yo no pedí opinión, estábamos trabajando en silencio y me mantuve así. Me mantuve así, no comentaba con nadie lo que iba a hacer porque es que las personas te
Empiezan a
te
chichar.
empiezan a decir cosas que tú no quieres escuchar. Y nosotros estábamos muy claras con nuestras metas, como Madelyn está diciendo. A pesar de que las personas van a venir con cosas negativas, nosotros sabíamos lo que nosotros queríamos y estamos todavía porque vamos por más.
What was the inspiration behind the Healthy Hub? I know that you guys work out 5 a.m., all that good stuff. I guess that was part of it, right? To create an atmosphere where there's a lot of health and healthy stuff involved. And even the Zumba classes
Sí.
now, it extended, right? So now you got the Healthy Hub and you got the Zumba. What was the inspiration behind all of it? Because,
A center,
I'm sorry?
like a center,
Right.
a place where we can meet, where you're not coming into my house. I do feel awkward people, like random people just coming to my house,
Yeah.
you know? And because of COVID, we lost that physical one-on-one. And we wanted to create that physical, everything was virtual.
Sí, porque nosotros estábamos trabajando desde casa.
And it went very
vendiendo-
well.
Sí.
We were working virtual. We had workouts virtual. We when COVID happened and we had to switch to virtual, we did pretty well.
So it started with the Zumba classes.
It started with the Zumba physical,
Okay, physical. Then it went virtual.
and then we went virtual, and bringing it back. It was just having a center where we can all meet, that you can advertise and have strangers come to a place where it wasn't your sanctuary.
Yes.
And not put your family into danger, But the fact that, because, we do live in a crazy world. But the fact that you have a center and you have so much to give. As coaches, our job is to empower. Our job is to motivate. And if you follow, I feel so bad that I have to mention the Bible so much, but it just...
No, don't feel bad.
It just goes hand on hand with everything that we do. For you to bring the word of God daily, you have to service. You have to serve. And for you to serve is basically you giving that light to someone, you giving that light of hope. So our intention of the hub is exactly that. Everyone that comes in doesn't leave the same way that they came in. It's giving that light of hope to everyone. People come in there all the time with all type of stuff and they leave rejuvenated. And that's our goal. But if that's our goal and then we don't take care of ourselves, you're going to be drained.
You're going to be drained.
So the hub was created to be a center where people can come in, get healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, and find a place where they can come and have fun. Our place is like the healthy bar. At 9:00 in the morning, it's a party.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. And the fact that people just go over there just to talk to us, that people just go just to be around us. It was for example, yesterday, I just drank my energy and they're they wanted to be at my level. And I was just so hop on, hello. But it's so funny because it's they feed off of your energy.
100%.
You understand? So the fact that you can be that light of ¿cómo se dice? Inspiration to others, humbly.
Right.
Because at the hub, there's no way you will see me ever say anything out of place. It's just the fact that I humbly want you to feel better. We want people to leave with a smile, to have a smile, to laugh. The lives that are being changed.
That's the impact.
just for giving someone a light of hope.
That's the impact. That's the gift.
That's it.
You know, I can attest to that. When we went there, when me and my wife, my kids went there, we didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
We had some
you have a problem to leave.
I know it felt like a homey vibe.
Homey.
It really did feel like a homey vibe. It felt the energy there was great, and I could tell that people probably. I was gonna ask people enter there early in the morning and just create like a whole
7
party
a.m.
there.
Ellos me
Oh my
esperan
God.
afuera before 7 a.m.
Listen,
Dude, I can't even have lights on after hours. If they see we're there, they come in. It's crazy. Like, the sign says closed. Like, pero it's just, they just, yo no sé ni cómo explicarlo. Explícalo tú,
Es un
Cheily.
party. No, porque realmente lo que pasa es que eso es lo que nos gusta a nosotras, nos gusta ayudar, nos gusta motivar a las personas. Por ejemplo, tú puedes ir allá y con un proyecto y mi amor, nosotras nos sentamos, desarrollamos tu proyecto.
Cállate.
Te trabajamos el social media, te hacemos de todo.
Sí, ahí te damos una clase de todo.
Te damos mira, tú necesitas esto y aquello. O sea, esa es nuestra personalidad. Yo siento
Sí.
que, porque es como te digo, nosotras en la pandemia tuvimos pidiéndole mucho, Dios mío, mándanos un negocio que nosotras podamos hacer, porque nosotras tenemos una amistad, aparte de ser business partner.
yeah.
Entonces siempre estamos en comunicación y nosotros decimos que nosotros tenemos que hacer algo. ¿Qué será lo que vamos a hacer? Pero Dios mío, guíanos, ¿qué es lo que vamos a hacer? Queríamos salir de la casa, queríamos emprender, ¿me entiendes? Entonces Dios nos puso este proyecto y eso es lo que nos apasiona. Para mí, yo no trabajo, yo pudiera dormir en el hub. Yo no sé qué es lo que me pasa. Para mí, yo no trabajo.
Be honest.
O sea,
You guys got a bed back there?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
But we should have, when things started getting spicy at first, we thought that we were going to need like maybe one of those sandwich beds and keep them in the back because things did get a little spicy at first.
No, porque es como lo que estamos diciendo. Por ejemplo, uno está compartiendo la experiencia de nosotros y por más que tú quieras, uno trata de manejar su tiempo, pero todo proyecto al principio es
Sí.
adaptación.
Yeah.
O sea, tú tienes que adaptarte, van a pasar muchos retos en la casa, muchos retos con los niños, todo eso. Pero ya lo que hablamos anteriormente, los tips que le dimos, o sea, esas son cosas que a nosotros nos ayudaron, a nosotros poder manejar y llevar todo, crear una balanza. Pero después de que todo eso pasa, que es una adaptación, todo se calma. ¿Me
Sí.
entiendes? Todo
Yes,
se calma
yes.
porque mira, ahora nosotros
Normal.
ya estamos normal. Pero que nosotros no podemos parar, ahora vamos para otro nivel.
That's, you know, I got a last question for you guys.
Okay.
What advice would you give a woman in your position in the very beginning? Madelyn before everything, Cheily before everything, and looking at everything that you want in front of you. What advice would you give that future entrepreneur as a woman?
Get close to someone that's doing them and ask questions. Like, I would go in front of whoever it is. If I am seeking, I will ask. And I would go in front of whoever it is and ask the question. Like, for instance, if you're seeking to start something and you don't know where to start, go up to that person and ask them, man, I want to start this. Where would I start? What should I do? Man, to start the hub, we got trained, which I'm forever grateful for. Every single person that trained us, that dedicated time, that gave us advice, that gave us tips, that let us experience all this stuff. And it's just that, like, man, if you have interest in learning, leaders will help you.
100%.
Haters will not help you. If you have interest in learning, leaders will help you because they will sense that urgency that you have inside, that you want more and that you seek more. And when you have that urgency, you're going to look for the answer. Because when we started this hub, I'm talking about, we have gone to Connecticut. Like, I'm talking about as a stay-at-home mom, before this whole hub thing started, you know what it is to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive to Connecticut, to get back before the kids get out of school. Like, these are things that behind the scenes, like sacrifices that you have to go through. But man, everything doesn't gotta be on a camera. Like,
Not at all.
like everything we're used to is like, it has to be on a camera. Like, everything has to be on a camera. Like, learn how to seek, ask the right questions, ask the people that are everyone has an inspiration. Ask that person. Ask. Like, don't be scared to ask, because I'm sure that person is always willing to help. Yeah. But I've learned to stop assuming. The sense of, like, for example, I could assume that you need help with painting, but you got that down packed. You probably needed just help doing walking. Something you know else, what I mean? Right, like completely something different. So it's like, I can't assume that I'm going to know what you need help in. You know, you have to ask the right questions and think about it. Where do you need help? But all that you need, you have it inside of you. You just have to allow yourself to view entrepreneurship as motherhood. You can read about it, but hands-on is always different. But you just follow your gut and do it with love. And see things also as school. Everything is a grade. You have to go through grade 1 to go to grade 2.
Yeah, you can't skip.
But people want that instant gratification. I am grateful for my journey. Like, I have started from very low, and I do not like...
peaks and valleys, baby.
Yeah, like I am grateful for everything that I've learned. Like, everything has driven me to get to where I'm at. Every stumble, trip, challenge, tear has caused an urgency in me to want more. Like, it's not even easy to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day, like when you're tired or whatever. But I do it because I know it's an investment. It's just your perspective. Stop looking at things as a negativity and start seeing your perspective as something positive. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning is an investment to myself.
What advice would you give, Cheily?
Bueno, aparte de todo lo que Madelyn dijo, realmente para todas aquellas personas o mujeres que quieren emprender, quiero que se empoderen, ¿me entiendes? Empodérate, que tú puedes lograrlo, porque muchas veces nosotras las mujeres tenemos miedos que no nos dejan tratar, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, cree en ti y que esto es también para ti, que tú también puedes tener éxito en algo. Puede ser hasta cualquier mujer que está en su casa cuidando a sus hijos, que tiene su familia y está dentro de ella pensando en que tiene un proyecto, pero tiene hasta miedo de comunicárselo a alguien porque creen que hasta la van a juzgar. ¿Me entiendes? Que no, que eso no es para esa persona, que no importa de dónde tú vengas, tu pasado no determina tu futuro. ¿Me entiendes? Yeah. No importa de dónde tú vengas, de dónde venga tu familia, tú puedes hacer algo diferente para tener un mañana diferente. Entonces, trabaja...
And you're 100% responsible for that. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no blaming. You can't blame your parents whether you had a good or a bad.
Exactamente. Entonces, cree en ti, trabaja en ti y edúcate, como Madelyn dice. Encuentra tu pasión. ¿Qué te gustaría hacer? Si no tienes tu pasión y tienes alguna idea, rodéate de personas que estén haciendo ese tipo de cosas o ve a eventos de emprendimiento. O sea, empieza a educarte. Porque a veces las personas quieren hacer algo, pero no saben ni qué hacer. Entonces, empieza a rodearte de esas personas que están en ese lugar donde tú quieres estar. Y a través de ello tú vas a encontrar, ¿me entiendes? Y alejarte de los círculos negativos. Lamentablemente eso hay que hacerlo cuando uno va a emprender. De ese grupo, cambiar tus hábitos, ir mejorando tus hábitos, porque si estás con personas que tienen malos hábitos, que van hacia atrás, ese no es tu círculo porque tú quieres ir hacia adelante. Entonces son muchos factores y para mí eso es uno de los más importantes.
It's kind of like the saying goes, tell me who you're around and I'll tell you who you're going to be.
But you also, like, you have to understand, like, you grow out of people, like nothing personal. But, like, you do grow out of an environment, or you do grow out of, because it's called maturing.
Yeah.
Or your goals are different. You know, like, it's hard to relate to somebody, let's say I used to hang out in high school, that doesn't have kids. Our goals are not the same. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not willing to hustle the way I'm hustling, like, what do we have to talk about?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know 100%. What I mean?
And there's not, like you said, it's nothing personal.
It's nothing personal, but then you have to also understand and be unapologetic, because we feel that we have to, ¿cómo se dice? Rendir cuenta.
Sí.
Oye, se me fue el inglés ahora. Se me fue el inglés.
Como dar explicaciones de todo.
Right.
Yo era así antes.
I was like that too.
No.
Ella me dijo que no diera muchas explicaciones.
Cheily, sí,
My wife told me to stop doing that a long
yo era
time
así
ago.
también, pero que there's no reason to. There's no reason to. Why is it that if someone loves you and they see that you're trying to do better for yourself, why would they hate on you? And if they do hate on you, then maybe they don't mean well. So you shouldn't need to explain every step that you're doing. It's hard to even explain what you're doing because you're trying to figure it out. Nonetheless, have to explain to others why you're trying to do something. You understand? So people should just pour more love to you. Like, hey, you're doing a great job. Like I've learned that. I learned that because I wish I had, like, for example, doing this whole women empowerment is just literally, I wish I want to be the person I needed. Like, for example, when I was going through my motherhood, depression, postpartum, I wish I had someone to talk to. Instead, I had more peer pressure, like, what type of mom are you? Thinking like that, or asking for help outside, or you need to get it together. You're a woman of a household. Like, you should know how to cook. And like Dominicans, they'll tell you how to cook. Échale un chin de eso y un chin de esto, and then that's it. Like, what? Like, how many cups? We're like born here. Like, can you tell me how much spoons I need of that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to break it down. So I want to be the person I needed. So every time I see a woman, it can be at any age. Because, listen, doing this, like, I've learned, like, it doesn't matter what age. It can be an elderly woman. And I'm like, as long as I am that person that I needed to someone else, I feel fulfilled. And that's free. You understand?
Free.
That's free. But like, why wouldn't we want to better someone else? 100%. So you can't be feeling bad for others that don't seek better or want better for you.
Right. You said something, about the friendship and the dynamic. I'm to the point where with my inner circle, my inner friends, I pour positivity, step away, because everybody has their own life. We do that a couple of times throughout the year. Hey, Madelyn, hope you're good, hope success, all that stuff. And then it's like we disconnect for like months. But then when we connect, it's like, it's not on purpose. It's agenda driven and all that stuff. Everything. This episode might be called agenda. But it's true, you pour some positivity and you step out of the way, because everybody's life is going in different directions.
Exactly. And I can't hate on you for that.
No.
You understand? Instead, whenever I do get to see you, it's like, man, what are you up to? I'm up to this. Like, well, how we had it recently. Like, we all met up and it's like, yo, what are you up to? No, what are you up to? Yeah. With no hate, with no, like, it's just like, man, really? You're doing that? And how you did that?
Y que también, por ejemplo, no es como que uno está diciendo aléjate de la gente, sino que son enfoques diferentes.
Right.
Porque si, por ejemplo, tu círculo son personas que salen mucho, que esto, que aquello, y tú necesitas más tiempo para tú descansar, para tú organizarte, para tú pensar, o sea, tu proyecto necesita otro tipo de enfoque. Entonces, si tú sigues haciendo lo que estás haciendo,
el grupo.
Como dice la frase, si tú quieres que tu mañana sean diferentes, tú tienes que hacer hoy algo diferente para cambiar el mañana. Si estás en el mismo punto y sigues haciendo lo mismo, tu mañana van a hacer lo mismo. Entonces, por eso es que el enfoque tiene que cambiar. No es que uno quiere discriminar a la persona.
No, you cannot be a people pleaser.
Sino es que tienes que cambiar el enfoque y estar donde te estás educando y preparando para tú llegar al siguiente nivel.
Yeah. Ladies, this was incredible. I really appreciate you guys for joining me in the podcast. Where can people find you? I know the Healthy Hub NJ is well and going, right? It's successful, Zumba classes and all that, but give them your social
First
medias.
Class is free.
Oh, okay. So go ahead, do your thing. Let them know where they can find you guys.
Zumba and HIIT workouts. The First Class is free. It's a way of promoting. It's a way of you coming to check us out, see how we're doing, what are you doing, and see if you like it. Like a free trial.
Okay.
It's free. And my IG is Maddie Fit Mom with 1 D and a Y.
And mi Instagram is Cheily Batista.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining. I really appreciate you both. You guys are doing amazing work. You guys are getting seriously, I looked at y'all waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. I'm like, let me try this one time. Let me see. Because I used to do it in the military.
Te voy a dar seguimiento en las redes.
Pero
Cállate,
no,
está
no,
levantando.
listen, no me siga, que ya estoy a las 7:30, despertándome a las 7:30 ahora.
Pero tú lo haces por paso. Primero a las 6:30, después tú comienzas a las 6, y si no te funciona, tú comienzas a las 5, pero tú no tienes que despertarte a las 5. Si a las 6 te funciona, a las 6 tú lo haces.
Porque nosotras es por los muchachos y eso.
No, pero I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna continue trying it. It's going well. I'm hitting the Peloton. You see the Peloton right there. I got a little bit of weights over there. I'm doing a little bit of everything here.
Cheily,
you know.
dale seguimiento en la Peloton.
No, yo tengo pelotón, yo te voy a seguir. Entonces tú me estás diciendo a mí que tú te vas a levantar. Por lo menos te voy a,
A
dar.
las 5
te
no.
voy a,
Ya
te
eso
voy
se
a
acabó.
dar
Te
hasta las
jodiste.
5:30 para verte ahí logueado en la pelotón. Te voy a dar seguimiento porque entonces ahí yo puedo ver si hiciste la clase
7
del
o'clock.
día.
7 o'clock.
No, that's too late. We open at 7.
Ay, Dios mío.
Nosotros abrimos a las 7 de la mañana.
Thank you, ladies, for joining the podcast. I'm not waking up at 5 ever again. I'm good. I wake up at 7. But thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate
Thank
you
you
both.
for having us. We
All
had
right.
fun.
Yeah.
You had fun?
You guys have fun?
Yes.
That's important. You
Yes,
guys-
we did.
Yeah, the nervousness left.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately.
Relax now.
We're good.
But thank you for joining.
Thank you.
For the listeners, thank you for joining us. Peace. We out.